All right, here we go. Recording.
All right, yay. Well, thank you guys for being on the call, and all of you guys that do listen to the recording. I do check the numbers, and so many of you do chime in, especially when you know someone as fabulous as Danielle. So thank you for taking the time to be on our team call. This one is very special to me because I could tell you all the accolades that our speaker has had. You hear that echo? Make it stop.
Yes, so there's several people unmuted. Carrie, Nick, Tammy, Lisa, everybody who's unmuted, go down to the bottom left corner of your screen and mute yourself. Normally I could do this from my end, but I am not being given any mute controls today. Awesome. That will prevent feedback.
Yeah, I can't do it now either.
Try again.
Oh, thank you. That's so helpful. Anyway, I can tell you that she's right now a 12-star diamond in her first business center, but she's like a 40-something star diamond if they would do it correctly. I know that she's a Success Club 10 legend, which means she's hit that for more than 24 months in a row. She was a top 10 coach with me. We got to go to Argentina together. But one of the really cool things that make her very special to me is that she has been, or I have had the pleasure of being in her life in some of the most instrumental moments that she's had. I got to certify her to teach, was it Kaio? Yes, and so I got to help her start her little fitness career that she has. I had a little bit of help in that. And then here in Frisco, Sean T came to Frisco, Texas to do his Stride certification. And I got to be there at that magic moment when the two of them had a bond. And you could just see it, you could feel it. It was magic. It was like they were the only two people in the room. Never mind, there were 40 other people. But it was just, you just felt it, that they were meant to know one another and to be really good friends. And then I got the opportunity to be with her when we filmed the very first Insanity Live video for Beachbody. And that was the moment that she had the opportunity to meet Darren before, but not get to know him on such a friendship level at that time. And so I got to witness again her, get to know Darren very well. And it's just been a match made in heaven since. So we went to the very first summit together for Beachbody, and she was, I don't want to say she was orphaned by any means, but I don't think your sponsor was there that year.
She wasn't. No.
And so she kind of tagged along with TeamMADE, and we absolutely adopted her. and we spent, she was just part of the team for that weekend for that summit. And it's been such a joy to watch her, I want to say blow up her life, because it's not just her business. She's raised two amazing children that you just saw, amazing children with more personality than one child should have. And she created a brand for herself that has helped probably millions of people now. She's in a beautiful relationship with a man that is her soulmate without a doubt. And she's, of course, one of Sean T's very, very best friends. And it's just been fun to watch that unfold. And I asked her today to speak on kind of building your audience with social media, because not that she was just a mom and a teacher, but she was just a mom and a teacher. She's built her brand all by herself. And I remember specifically sitting at Twisted Root, eating a burger, going through her Facebook, and this was a few years ago, and she put a post out there like only Danielle can. It wasn't controversial, but it was very in your face, and people were half of them were defending her, and half of them were like, "You're crazy, lady." And the way that she controlled the group and the way that she spun it is what's made her who she is today. Just a no nonsense, we're gonna tell it like it is, gonna love you no matter who you are or what you say person that has just created this ginormous brand. And I'm gonna shut up so that she can get on here and share with you guys how she went from Danielle to Fit and Funky.
Thank you for that introduction. And yes, I mean, if ever I'm asked who has been someone that has just been instrumental, not only in my business, but in my life, it is certainly Melissa. And yes, she has seen me change and grow and seen me through the good and the bad and stood by me when she didn't have to. And so I love her for that. And I'm honored to speak to you today on social media, especially when you have someone who's so fantastic at it. I mean, you really have someone that is just phenomenal at social media. So when I asked her, well, what do you want me to speak on? And she said social media, I kind of thought for a second, eek, but you're so good at it. But I'm going to do my best to share with you some of my best practices and what I've done to build my brand and my name on social. Just to give you a little bit of an idea and a background, in case you don't know who the heck I am, when I started this gig, I was a 5th grade math teacher, a mother of 2, and I had a Facebook account, which was to say that I had a Facebook. Like, I only got it because I had recently moved from Florida to Texas, and, you know, the idea was, all right, let me try to keep in touch with a couple of people, and I didn't really know what to do with it, and I certainly wasn't using it for business. It was really just a means of every once in a while throwing up a post, or if I was bored on a Friday night, just kind of scrolling through and seeing what was going on. And when I joined this whole Beachbody thing and people were like, oh, you got to be on Facebook and you have to post on social media, I thought, okay, I can do that. And so what's funny is that Facebook shows you that on this day, right? On this day. And every day I click on it like this. Kind of leaned back with one eye open because some of these posts, y'all, are so dumb. They are so dumb and they're so embarrassing, and they had 1 like. Some of them have no likes, like literally 5 years later, no likes, no comments still. They were just things that I would never dare dream post about now. But I share those with my team from time to time when they're so bad, like that you almost have to share it, because it just is proof that I'm no different. I'm no more special or talented. I didn't come into this with some amazing grand following. What I did was I tried a lot of things that didn't work. And when those things didn't work, I tried some different things until I found something that did work. And I'm still tweaking that, but now I pretty much have a good idea. So what you now know is Fit and Funky honestly started out as Danielle's Fit Tip of the Day on my personal page. And what I would do is I would buy a magazine, Oxygen, Muscle and Fitness, Her, Shape, and I would open it and I would just kind of like circle my finger and I would point my finger down and I'd go, okay, that's my tip. Now, how can I put that in my voice? And honestly, that's how it started. And so when I look back on some of those each day, thanks to Facebook memories, sometimes I get 7 likes. I'm like, woo, that was a good one. Or sometimes I even get a comment back. And that's where it started. And what led me to get a page and to even become Fit and Funky really was Beachbody's fault. At the time, Beachbody said, okay, you can sell programs on your Facebook if you have a community page. And I thought, well, oh my goodness, I am an Emerald coach and I'm in the negative and I'm not even drinking those stupid shakes. But yes, let me sell Turbo Fire on my Facebook. Surely that is the answer to all my problems. So I looked up how to make a community page. And I thought, well, I'm going to ignore Chalene Johnson, who says brand your name, and I'm going to come up with a cute name. Certainly I need a cute name. And really what that must have been was the name gods foreshadowing the fact that I was going to start this business as Danielle Henson. I was going to get divorced and go back to my maiden name of Danielle Katz. And then I was going to fall in love with the love of my life and be Danielle Natoni. And while I promise you that's the last name I'll ever have, I really thank God I had enough foresight in my life to ignore everyone saying brand your name, and I became Fit and Funky. So I was like, okay, I need a fun name and I'm going to become a page and that's what I'm going to do. And so that's how Fit and Funky started. And today I'm at 125,000 organic followers. And I tell you organic because I've maybe run 4 ads the entire time that I've been a coach. And so when I get to some of my tips and tools, while the algorithms have changed, I do still get a lot of organic growth simply by being viral. And we're going to talk about how you can do that. And so then Fit and Funky just kind of became who I am. There are more people now who will come up to me and go, I don't actually know your name, but I know you're Fit and Funky. And so then I have to tell them I'm Danielle. But that means I'm doing something right. What I've done, I hope, is what Shalene talks a lot about, which is build lifers. My fans or followers are ride or die for me. If somebody says something negative about me, they are the first to come to my defense. They are the first to stand by me in difficult times. They're the first to celebrate with me in really amazing times. And I honestly feel like my social media following truly is my family. And a lot of times when I meet these people, I am just as excited to meet them as they are to meet me. My Instagram isn't quite what Melissa's is, but I've grown that to about 71,000. And my new kind of love, just like a lot of people, is Periscope, where I'm at about 11,000 followers. So we're growing there too. So let me just kind of tell you what I do, how I grew it, and hopefully some of this will help you. And again, I only told you where I started because I wanted you to understand I don't have a big social following because I have abs. Quite honestly, I have to work harder at being likable and lovable because of them. I don't have a big social following because I'm friends with Sean T. Quite honestly, if you scroll through my newsfeed, I want you to look and see how many times you've actually ever seen me mention him. In fact, so much so that we forget to take pictures just like normal friends would, because I don't ever want to abuse that friendship, because to me, he's just a person. He's not a celebrity. And sometimes I forget really the power of who he is. I have a big following for the same reason you can have a following, because every single day I wake up and I think, how can I add value? How can I help more people? How can I inspire? And I show up every single day, rain or shine. If I feel like crap, I gotta post. If I'm on my honeymoon, I gotta post. If I'm on vacation, I gotta post. It doesn't matter. I gotta post every day. The one area of your business that I do not feel can take a hiatus is social media, because just as quickly as you are gone, somebody will swoop in and they will grab the attention of the people who love you most. So the number one thing I want to start with is there are so many social media platforms. There's Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat if you're young. I don't have a Snapchat. I don't plan on ever having a Snapchat. I downloaded it simply in case that little bugaboo out there ever thought she was going to get Snapchat, but I don't use it. I have Twitter and now Periscope, and there's YouTube, and there's all these different things. You don't have to be on all of them. You don't. So what I would say to you is decide on which one is going to be your main squeeze. Which one is the one that you're going to pour all your time and all your attention into first? And if you then choose to move into another area of social media, you can, but you always stay true to your main squeeze. So for the longest time, my main squeeze has been Facebook, and that still probably holds true. It's where I have the highest followers. It's where I have the highest engagement base. Though Instagram is growing rather quickly, and I think that's just a sign of kind of the times. So just know, every time a new social media app comes out, you don't have to be on it if you're not ready to. If you were at the Platinum Edge this weekend, you heard Shalene talk about the fact that multitasking doesn't serve you any good. And so the same is true with your social media. It's better to be really good at one or two of them instead of being just mediocre at all of them. So don't feel like every time a new social outlet comes out that you have to be a part of it. Focus on the one that you feel really serves you best and can be your main squeeze. So if that's Facebook, learn Facebook. Learn everything there is to know about Facebook. Figure out who the experts are. Listen to podcasts. Listen to trainings. Follow other people that are successful and have big followings on Facebook. Same thing with Instagram and all the other areas. Okay, number 2, who are you? And stay true to that. I bet you if I was allowed to unmute you, which I won't because it'll sound like mad chaos, every one of you, if you follow me and know who I am, could tell me at least 1 to 3 things about me. And I've played this game on my social media before where I say, Name a fact you know about me. And once it's posted, you can't post the same thing twice. And I am blown away always by all the little things people know about me, because I am true to who I am. Every single day, without fail, I don't pretend to be who I'm not, because I will tell you, there was a time that I did. There was a time that I spent so much time pretending to be perfect that what really happened was my social media wasn't that great. The people around me thought I was one way when really I was another, and I was exhausted, because pretending to be somebody that you're not takes so much more energy than just being exactly who you are. So yeah, I'm no nonsense. I will tell it exactly like it is. And one of my most viral posts till today is talking about something that every woman, sorry for the few men that are on this call, do, which is yet sometimes leave the gym and you don't shower and you need to wipe certain areas. So I showed the healthy hoo-hoo wipe and we talked about it. And people appreciated that. I had so many people say, thank you for talking about that. And it's not that I get vulgar, it's not that I get crass, but that's who I am. Like, let's be honest, we all have hoo-hoos and we need to talk about them. So I stay true to who I am. You don't have to talk about hoo-hoos, but you do need to talk about whatever it is that you are. So I'm known for talking about shoes, abs, my kids, recipes. People really loved watching my love story unfold. I just stay true to exactly who I am, and I don't pretend to be anyone different. So my question to you would be, what are 5 things that you are, and you can't include fitness? Because even though fitness is my hobby, it's what I do, it's what I love. If I'm just about fitness, I'm missing such a huge piece of the population. People who scrapbook need Shakeology, and people who like to golf need P90X, and people who are super into do-it-yourself products, they need the 21-day fix. And so if you just focus on the fact that you are a fitness trainer, or you're a health coach, or you have all these great fitness tips, you are missing the other percentage of the population who wants more information from you, but they could care less a perfect way to do a squat. Because guess what? A squat is a squat is a squat. And the way that Melissa tells you about a squat is going to be no different than the way I tell you about a squat. But I might be able to give you something different about fitness fashion, where Melissa might be able to tell you everything she knows about the Wizard of Oz. And so those are the things that are going to connect you. Like, we all know I'm obsessed with the movie Rocky. And so many people will reach out to me, send me little clips about that. And so you are allowed to be more than fitness. Matter of fact, I encourage it. And while I put up a video every day from fitness, a lot of times it's just my accountability for my workout, showing that our products actually do work and they're a simple system. But really, the rest of the day, I want people to know that I'm just a human being. I'm a human being who forgets to put caps back on things. And I'm a human being who sometimes has to serve food on paper plates because we're too busy and I don't feel like washing the dishes. And I'm just a person who maybe had to put together a whole 30-day challenge simply to remember to shower every day and put on real clothes. But what happens is when I do that, there are so many other people in the world who can identify with that. And what you want is people who identify with you and your brand. I don't care if some guy named Joe who works at a welding plant and really likes weightlifting wants to be part of my universe, because there's some other coach out there for him. There's some other social media account out there for him. But I know the people that I'm attracting are 25 to 45-year-old working mom who wants to know, how in the hell do you make all of this work? And that's who I'm speaking to. And if I don't attract other people outside of that, that's okay, because I'd rather talk to people who really get me and understand me and love that I might say the word hoo-hoo from time to time, versus people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she would just say that. That's it. I'm unliking. Good. Unlike. I don't need you here. That's okay. There are plenty of other people who will love me for who I am. If you're a mom on this call, you probably preach that to your children all the time. You want them to love them for who they are. You want them to love the skin they're in. You want them to love the person that they look at in the mirror. And you want them to surround themselves with friends who love them for who they are. So why would you treat your social media any differently? Sometimes you spend more time with your social media family than you do with your actual family in the amount that you post. So why would you want to surround yourself with people who don't love you for who you are. So figure out who you are and stay true to that every single day. But if you're not sure who you are, ask your friends, ask your followers. My good coach, Lori Stewart, number 3 coach in the company last year, struggles with this all the time. She's like, I don't know who I am. We're like, what? You love Target. You love pizza. You love popcorn. Your makeup's awesome. Like, we were just able to tell her, these are the things that you are. So figure out who you are. And if you're not sure, ask your family, ask your friends, ask your followers. They'll tell you, but don't shy away from that. I have a coach on my team who's really, really heavily like seated in her faith. And she wondered if she should post about that. I'm like, of course you should. The people who it offends, they'll leave. And the people who it attracts will stay and appreciate you for that. So figure out who you are and never deviate. Okay, number 3, be interesting and interested. I know you've heard that before. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have ever said that to you. And somebody's unmuted, and it's going to turn my on like overload. So if you can figure out who you are, it's like shiny objects. I can't listen to your background noise and talk at the same time. Thank you. So be interesting as much as you are interested, meaning, okay, you just figured out who you are. You're going to post about that all the time, but you have to engage back into each and every one of those posts. And I actually think it was you, Melissa, who shared on maybe Shalene's podcast when you talked about Instagram, where you said you give yourself a 15-minute window after you post to engage with your followers. And I have stayed true to that ever since you've said that, because it's important. So I make sure every post after I post, I have a 15-minute window where I can go in, and if they ask a question, I can answer it. Or if they just said something, I can just say something back to them so that they know that I am just as much interested in them as they are in me. And then I try to remember every night before I shut it all down to go back through and do it just one more time. So those people that came in later on that post, not just in that 15-minute window that I did it, get a little bit of interaction from me as well. And just as much as we tell you, you got to be intentional with being on social media, I still give myself scroll time. And in that scroll time, I make it a point to comment on at least 5 people's posts. Because I want them to know I'm not just showing up on the newsfeed and then to heck with what you post, right? So I make it a point to set very specific scroll time. And I'll be honest, I do it in my downtime. So maybe I'm just sitting on the couch, and Darren and I love to just watch TV shows. So maybe we're sitting down on the couch and we're getting ready to watch a show, and I'll just kind of sit and I'll scroll through and I'll pick 5 people. And sometimes they're not even people I know. I'm like, I have no idea who this is, but I like that picture and I'm going to comment on that. Because I want people to know that it's just not all about me. It's about them too. And what that creates is people who want to interact with you, and you just show up in more people's news feed that way. Another thing that your leader is really great at that I try to do as well is I try to make it a post to just go post on people's timelines, or if we're talking specifically about Facebook, or share their Periscope, just so that they know I want to help you grow your following too. So sometimes if you just post on somebody's timeline and say, hey, I'm thinking about you, or if you just get on and you share somebody's Periscope that they're on, it lets them know that you care and that you're not just on social for your own benefit, you're there for other people as well. Okay, number 4, make them crave your next post. If you're at Platinum Edge, then this video is played. If you weren't, it's on my YouTube, and it's not a shameless plug to go to my YouTube, because honestly, I'm not great at YouTube. Like, I did buy his training, but it's not something that I have been good at. So, but if you just go to youtube.com/fit and funky, I think it's like the first or second video on there. Crave stands for content, reliability, ask questions, value, and engagement. And so what that means is, what you hope is that people want to come to your social, whether you show up in their newsfeed or not. So habits are formed when you actually crave the reward. So I use the example in the video of running, which P.S. I hate. I'd rather do anything in the world other than running. Like, hate it. You people who get on Facebook and say, oh, I just ran 8 miles and I feel so amazing. I'm like, how? I run for 30 seconds and wonder if I ran a mile yet, because I just am done. Anyway, if you wanted to start running, you would put your running shoes by your bed every morning. That would be your cue that it was time to run. So then you would do the routine, which is to run. And when you got done, your reward would be that endorphin high you feel when you are done and you feel accomplished. So you keep doing that and it creates a habit. But really what creates that habit is when you wake up in the morning and you don't have to look at the floor to see your shoes to want to run. You just crave it. You want that endorphin high that you feel when you're done. So the same is true with your social media. Imagine if you only left it up to Facebook's algorithm to decide whether or not somebody came to your post or not. The likelihood, how many times does someone go, I thought you were off Facebook. I haven't seen one of your posts in a while. And it's just the algorithm. What you want is for someone to crave your information. Oh my gosh, I need to see what Melissa is posting today. It's so good. I'm going to type her name into the search bar on Facebook. When you can do that, when people will seek you out on purpose and you don't have to worry about the algorithm of Facebook or how many times in a row someone posted on Instagram, you will do far better with your brand and growing your following. So I know that if I don't post for a while or I don't show up in people's news feed, then can you please leave? I'm on a call. No, goodbye.
Wait, how many minutes? How many minutes are we done?
Get
Till
out.
you're done.
Get out
Let me
now.
know.
Hi, sorry. We're an apartment, so I have no office, nothing. Get out. The other one, out. Goodbye.
But
Love
I'm
you.
a good child.
Sorry. So anyway, what you want is for, I told you, shiny object. Like I just can't. They were sitting there staring at me like a cat. But what you want is for them to go, okay, I have a question about shoes. Danielle always posts about shoes. I'm going to go to Danielle's page. Or, you know what, Jeanette has like the best smile on the planet, and I just, you know what, I want to see what she's doing today, so I'm going to type in and go to her account. I can't tell you how many people randomly will just pop in my brain. I'm like, I haven't seen them on Facebook in a while, right? But if they were constantly giving me such value that I had no choice but to seek it out on purpose, then my social would do so much better. So what you want to do is have content that people need. And that goes back to your 5 things. Your things is shoes, then, you're going to constantly give good information about shoes. Or if one of your things is do-it-yourself projects, then you're constantly going to give content on do-it-yourself projects. You're going to do it every single day without fail. You're going to engage back with them, and hopefully they're going to comment and share so you show up in other people's news feeds. But if for some reason you don't, they're going to seek you out on purpose. Okay, next. Show up daily. I kind of alluded to that already, but I can't stress this one enough. In today's noisy, busy social media world, if you are even gone for 3 days, a week, 30 days, you will have so hard of a time to build back up that momentum. If you were to go to Starbucks at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, you'd expect them to be open. And the same is true for your social media. Unless you had some kind of tragic, incident happen in your life, you need to be on social media every day. And whether that means you schedule it, though, I would much prefer you live post, even if it's less frequent, because that holds higher ranking in the algorithm. But even if it means you schedule it every day, there needs to be some kind of content from you, or if you're outsourcing that, have somebody else do it for you. Because just as quick as you're there, somebody else will swoop right on in and become the next biggest thing on social media, and your account will drop. So you have to show up daily. Consistency is key, not only in social media, but in this business in general. It's not sexy. I always say this business is pretty simple. You wake up, you do your workout, you drink your shake, you post on social media, and you read your book. You just keep doing that. And so, honestly, like part of the vital behavior should be get on social media. Wake up, drink your shake, do your workout, read your book, post on social. And so every single day, no differently than brushing your teeth or doing your workout, you need to be on social media if you want to stay relevant. And you guys, that's honestly how I grew my brand. It's funny, in the on this day, it showed me that, I think it was 2 days ago, in 2012, I was gunning for 10,000 fans. And I was at like 8,000 and change. And I was like, guys, we're so close to 10,000 fans. And what I did then is no different than what I do now. I'm just better at it, but I was consistent every single day. And so that consistency of showing up day in and day out even when I was going through the hardest time in my life and I was trying to keep it quiet and then it went public, I still showed up every single day because that's what will help grow your following more than anything else. Okay, next one is you got to get viral. Some way, shape, or form, one viral post can change your life. And I have so many coaches on my team that can attest to this. One of my coaches, actually, Melissa knows her name is Callie Banks. She's a trainer here in the Frisco area. And one day, her Facebook page went from like 1,000 followers to like 60,000 followers. And it was because she had one YouTube video that she posted go so viral and get like 60 million views and it just blew up. And so it changed the course of her business. And she was a fallen diamond and she brought it back and she got all these other coaches excited. And now she's a thriving business again. And so one viral post can change everything for you. And that viral post doesn't even have to be yours. Shalene shared on a team call for me maybe 6 months ago or so that one way that you can kind of get a little bit more engagement is to share like a really funny cat video and then you find another video that has a lot of views and another video that has a lot of views, and you do that for, I think she said 2 weeks, until you basically train the Facebook algorithm that you share videos that go viral, so that when you start posting your own videos and your own content, Facebook's like, oh, she posts good stuff. We're going to put that in the news feed more often. So if your stuff isn't going viral yet, share things that are viral that hopefully, outside of just cute cat videos, are still valuable to your followers. So, a lot of times, a good example of that might be when Size first launched in that promo video, which was like so amazing, right? And that just kept getting shared. And so you sometimes you share a video like that on your page that already has so many views, kind of just retrains the algorithm. But if you can come up with your own healthy hoo-hoo post that really gets people talking, sharing, commenting, it will change the landscape of your business. And granted, I'm talking about Facebook, but even on Instagram, if you can get a post that for some reason just everyone is like reposting and it's showing up in that, search bar feature. I don't know what you call that. It used to be like the popular page, but it's not, but it's where that is. But if you can get something that people are just like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I've got to retweet it. I've got to reshare it. I need to repost that. Just a couple of those, and next thing you know, you've got all kinds of new followers who just want to share and post your things. And so video is really where that's at for Facebook. And on Instagram, what I find does really, really well are some of those like funny quotes. If you heard like Chelsea Pearson at Platinum Edge, I think her stuff is funny. It's the only reason I follow her, because she posts stuff like, I think she was one of the ones that posted like, you got a hurt leg, coconut oil. You have a bruise on your arm, coconut oil. Your hair is dry, coconut oil. You need to break up with your boyfriend, coconut oil. I'm like, oh my God, that's funny. And so next thing you knew, I started seeing that in Instagram all the time. And so sometimes quotes like that, just in a white background that are really, really funny about yoga pants or wine, get shared a lot. And something viral like that will seriously change your business. For me, that was the Healthy Hoo Hoo wipe. I hands down firmly believe that helped me just really boost my following. So find your healthy hoo hoo. Number 8, be humble and be grateful. And you guys have such a humble leader in Melissa. But what you can't do is nobody wants to follow a page where the person is just so self-centered and isn't humble, isn't grateful, doesn't really show their vulnerable side, doesn't show their faults, doesn't show when they fail. And so one of the best things you can do is be completely transparent, which goes directly back to staying true to who you are. But it's in those weak moments that your follower base will truly stand behind you and love you even more. And just to give you a very personal example, when I went through my divorce, I kept it quiet for a long time, and I finally decided to make a public post, and I thought, I don't know if I can do this, and I don't know if people will support me, and certainly I'm going to get a lot of backlash. And what happened was, and I know this because this was also recently in my memories on Facebook, is that let people see that I was human and that I wasn't perfect and that I could share my softer side. I could share my vulnerabilities with them. And while I didn't tell them all the ins and outs, I just gave them enough of what they needed to know by just being humble and great. Thank you. Just by being humble and letting them know, exactly like, hey guys, this is what's going on in my life and I'm not perfect. I really think I gained the respect of my followers and they just fell in love with me a little bit more. So, and I'm also appreciative of them, so I don't forget that they are, kind of my bread and butter of who made Fit and Funky who she is. And so a lot of times I sometimes just take time to thank them. I take time sometimes to just welcome all the new people to my page or to my account. And when I meet them, no matter how busy I am, I do my best to smile and thank them for following me. And so hopefully you will do the same as your follower base grows. Number 8, be a tag monster. At first I used to hate this. I was like, ugh, if that person tags me one more time in a post, I'm going to scream. But when you tag, when it's appropriate, when they're actually in the picture or related to the post, then everybody benefits. What I will strongly recommend you don't do, and this is my hugest pet peeve on Instagram, and actually one of my very closest people in the world does this to me, and I still haven't had the heart to tell her to knock it off. On Instagram, do you know the difference between tagging and adding? Okay, so when you add somebody, it shows up and it tells them that you mention them. When you tag them, it means they're in the picture and it shows up in their pictures they are in. Nothing drives me more crazy than when I look at the pictures I'm in and I'm like, well, by golly, I'm not in any of those pictures. Not a single one of them. I am not in your sweaty selfie. So I'm not super sure why you tagged me in that. Now, I'd love for you to @ me and let me know that you worked out. That makes me feel very happy. So please do know the difference between tagging and adding. With that being said, if people are in a picture, people want to see that. And so here is a little trick if you have a page on Facebook. How many of you have a page? Raise your hand if you have a page. Okay, good. So I don't know if you know this, but if you have a page and you want to tag a personal profile, it's hard. So here's what you do. If you're on your computer, okay, you click on the picture so that the direct URL comes up in the URL bar. You refresh it. When you refresh it, it like reopens up Facebook in an old version where you can click tag and you can tag people. So what I do is I tag my personal profile so that I don't have to post twice, and I can tag people. So let's use an example. From Platinum Edge, we took a nice team picture at dinner. I posted it on my page. I clicked on the picture so the URL showed up. I refreshed it, and then I tagged every single person's personal profile that was in that picture. So what happened is that picture where nobody really cares about my team on my page, they really don't, right? Those posts don't do super well. But what happened is that everybody that was in that picture was so excited I tagged them in that picture, then they all started responding. And so now that post does well, and now the people on my page were like, oh, well, that's fun. All the people really love being on her team. So get in the habit of tagging when appropriate. Don't get off this call and start tagging people in your sweaty selfies and say that I told you to do that because they told you the opposite. But if people are in the picture, get in the habit of tagging them because it helps you show up in their people's news feed and vice versa. It's just great cross-pollination. And if you have a page, then you can do that by simply clicking the picture, refreshing it, and then you can tag personal profiles. Okay, number 9, calls to action. People need to know what to do with your post. So I'm sure you've heard this before, but if you just post a picture, it's like, and so what? What would you like me to do with that? And so you need to tell people what to do with that, especially on Thursdays. Newsflash, the only people that care that somebody turned emerald are other Beachbody coaches. Other than that, nobody cares. So the only way you're going to get any engagement on that post is to say, Sue just turned emerald, and you may not know what that means, but I know you know what hard work looks like. So click like to give Sue a virtual high five. Oh, I'll give Sue a virtual high five, because I told you what to do. with the post. But if I just post an emerald picture of Sue, someone looking like that, oh, here she goes again. It's Thursday, those damn emerald pictures. I don't know what she wants me to do with these. Right? Aren't those like your lowest engagement posts? So you've got to tell them what to do with it. Or I always use this example. Say you go to a baby shower. You go to a baby shower, you take a picture with the mom, and you post it up at Jen's baby shower. And so what? What do you want me to do with that? I don't know Jen. I don't care about her baby. So what? You went to a baby shower. But if I said, oh my gosh, you guys, a year ago, Jen couldn't get pregnant because she was so unhealthy that her doctor said she needed to lose 50 pounds. And guess what? With my help, she did that, and now she's expecting her first kid. How cool is that? Share this with another woman out there who's struggling to get pregnant. Oh, now I know what to do with that post. I'm going to click share, and I'm going to tag Franny, who's been trying to get pregnant but won't listen to me, that she needs to lose some weight. You need to tell people what to do with your post. You have to put a call to action, whether that's a question, whether that's just telling them to share it, whether that's telling them to click like. You need to let them know what to do with your post. Most people are looking at Facebook or Instagram while they're in the line at the grocery store, while they're at a stoplight, while they're driving, or it is the modern day newspaper when you go to the restroom. And so they're fast. They're just like scrolling through. And so they need you to tell them, because if they looked at that baby shower picture and like, oh, that's nice, they thought it. But oh, that's nice in their head doesn't translate to more likes, comments, and shares for you, which is how you grow your engagement and which is how you build your brand. So every post, 9 out of 10 posts, should have some kind of call to action. Tell them what to do. You took a sweaty selfie? Congratulations. What should they do with that? Maybe that sweaty selfie says, ugh, today was day 1 of the 21-day fix, and you guys, I seriously didn't think I was going to get through. Have you ever had something in your life you didn't think you were going to finish? Oh, okay. I have no idea what the 21-day fix is, but yeah, I really struggled when I couldn't finish XYZ. So you got to add a call to action, and it doesn't always have to be a creepy, like Beachbody related call to action. Just let them know what to do with the post. And finally, the best piece of advice I can give every single one of you is social media sucks only if you let it. Meaning, I think social media is a blessing. I think we get to do social media, not we have to do social media. It should be something that you are excited about. It's a free, awesome way to build an online business. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I pretty much would make a living, would have changed my life and my family's life by working out in my living room and posting pictures and videos in a sports bra, I would have said you were nuts. But by the power of social media, I have been able to build something really big, and so can you. So you've got to stop thinking about social media as being so scary. And you got to stop thinking about social media as something you have to do. Ugh, I have to make another post. And start thinking about something that you get to do. That you are, I mean, imagine if you were a network marketer 10 years ago. Dude, you had to like go out like and knock on people's doors and like just like, or send them flyers in the mail. Like now you get to just like connect with people and make new best friends all over the country. So much easier. So I want you to stop thinking about social media as some big, hairy, scary thing you have to do, and think about it as like the most awesome part of your job. Like the easiest thing is that you get to show up every day, and from your phone, you get to connect with people all over the world. And of course, don't give up, because it's not easy. There are days when I make a post and I'm like, well, that tanked. But I still wake up and I dust my shoulders off and I make another post, because life will go on. My life is not going to ride or die by one bad social media post, and neither will yours. So you can't give up, because just at the point where you've given up on social media might have been the exact moment that your post went viral and your life forever changed because of it. So that's all I have to say.
Best call ever. Best call ever. We need Danielle on every week.
And I'm sorry about the interruption, but you know, we're like shoved into this apartment. And what's funny is little kids are when they were younger, they were so much better about staying out of my room. Like, I don't know what was confusing about get out that required them to come back in.
You're like, my burrito. I get you. I get you. Well, I wanted to, before I close it, Danielle, I wanted to ask you 3 really quick questions that I think you could answer. Number 1 is, do you have a time that you post? Are you particular about the time that you post?
So I only have one particular time that I try to miss never without fail, and that's early morning. Because I feel like the majority of people, it's part of their morning ritual and routine to get on Facebook, whether they work a full-time job or they're just a stay-at-home mom. I feel like one of the first things that everybody does every day is check their news feed, whether that's Instagram or Facebook. So one time that I won't miss is morning. And I feel like as a Beachbody coach, if you work out in the morning, it's a really easy time. Take some kind of video or photo during your workout. It doesn't have to be, a selfie, but just something that helps keep you accountable, and that might turn into a post that you can use. So my follower base pretty much knows to expect some kind of something from my workout every morning. And if I had to choose a second time that I stay true to, it's not always the evening, because for me, that's not staying true to who I am. I typically only do Monday nights because that's when my team call is. And then the rest of the week, we're like shuttling volleyball back and forth. So I don't post a lot during the evening. So a lot of times my other times during the day is when I'm out and about during my day, and I try to make that lunchtime, because I know that when I was working as an elementary school teacher, during my lunch, I would check Facebook and Instagram. And so I imagine the same is true for a lot of people that have a lunch break, is that they take that time to get on social. But what I will say is that a time that I find works really, really well is Sunday nights, just in general. So I do try to always make a post on Sunday night, because that's when people are winding down. They're maybe a little sad. They have to go back to work. So Sunday nights for sure. And every morning always, and lunchtime are my favorite times to post.
Okay, perfect. And you kind of already answered this, but I just want to ask if you can reiterate it. Do you have any kind of a formula? I mean, obviously you said more workout posts in the morning and lunch. Do you have a formula at all to your post, or are they really just kind of what you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, so I know a lot of people have a formula. Like we had Natalie Tuman on our call recently, and like she's a very set formula, and I do not. Now I stay within a realm of like what I typically will post, right? Which is, here's what's crazy. I tried to get away from selfies. I tried to get away from the ab selfie. And what I found is, for me, my followers wanted that. I literally had people message me back and say, hi, excuse me. So I put you on my phone or my screensaver, and you haven't been posting selfies in a while. And so can we have those back? So for me, I know that that's something that I have to keep, annoying or not, right? So I don't have a formula. Like, it's not like Motivation Monday and Taco Tuesday or anything like that. But I do have certain things that I try to always post. And so it's always a mixture of, like, every day I want at least one video and one photo, bare minimum. And that's true for Instagram and Facebook. And then I try to have a mixture of workout, motivation in some way, shape, or form. And then the other thing that I found is just something, for me, mom related. So whether that's cooking, whether that's just an organizational tip, or something about my kids. But I actually don't have a set formula. However, I will say, when I was still full-time and trying to run this business, I did have more of a set formula, because I had to schedule my posts in advance, because you can't really be teaching long division and posting at the same time. So I did have to have a formula then. However, now I much prefer to just like take inspiration from life, like whatever is going on. I'm like, oh, that would be a brilliant post. I try not to overthink it. Some people really just stress out so hard about what to post. And so I really try to let life I try to go with the flow. And I wish there was a better answer for that, but it's not. That's my answer.
No, it's great. That's perfect. And so you pretty much answered my third one too, which was wonderful. And you brought up a point that I wanted to say. When I introduced you, I talked about how I have been a part of very instrumental moments in your life. You remember I was your 10,000th like. Do you remember that?
I do.
I still have that picture. I was her 10,000th like.
I know, but I said to her, I was like, wait a minute, why didn't you already like me? Details. And then also, Symphony and I were just
playing around, but do you remember the word that I had for you? I think it was either I was on your team call or you were on my team call years ago. There was a word that I had that described you perfectly. Do you remember what that word was?
I don't remember the word, but I remember it because you posted it on my Facebook timeline. I'm like, what the heck does that word mean? And I had to go look it up, but I don't remember what it is.
I have it pulled up because I say it wrong every time. I'm going to see if you can hear it. Tell me if you can hear it.
Pulchritudinous.
Oh, that's right. I do.
It's pulchritudinous. And it means physically beautiful.
Aww.
And that is just my word for you. And in the weirdest, most randomest times, it'll come up in my head, that word, and I have to go look it up again to make sure I'm saying it right. But it's just a word for you, pulchritudinous. But that is my word to you. One day I'll make a T-shirt that'll say that.
That's a T-shirt. It'll be. I will need bigger boobs for that T-shirt, but it's for it to fit across.
You have a bacon shirt on?
I do.
Oh my God. That's so perfect for this team.
I gotta stay true to who I am, and I love bacon.
Oh, and and I'm going to close the call, but that reminds me of going out to lunch with you at Jason's Deli, and we're sitting there having lunch, and these two people come up, and they're like, oh my gosh, are you Danielle? And they're like, yeah, can we get a picture with you? And I'm like, hey, my name's Melissa. I was like, damn it. But I just love you to death. I know you know that. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the call. As you saw the chat was going off, everybody thanking you. And I know that I speak for them. I appreciate you taking time away from Darren and away from your girls to speak with us tonight. It was very, very valuable, and we love you. And just so proud of you. Thank you for being part.
It was awesome and funny, Danielle. It was awesome.
Always.
Thank you. Love you guys, and have an amazing night.
You too. Bye, guys.